Yo, what's going on, Epic 7? I'm Sue, and this is my beginner's guide to Challenge Mode Abyss Floor 4. Floor 4 will have you facing off against Isaria. In order to get 3 stars on this stage, you need to not trigger her outrage, and you cannot play starting 5-star rarity heroes. The core mechanic of the fight is this passive here, Knight's Duel. It says when someone uses a non-attack skill for the 7th time, it triggers outrage on Isaria. That's not to say that you can't play non-attack skills, you just have to manage your cooldowns accordingly, especially those of your healers. My advice, if you have the artifact Celestine or the artifact Bloodstone, play a character on one of those artifacts and use them for your sustain. I won't be using either in this guide. I'll show you my alternative to that in just a moment. Additionally, Knight's Duel says that things like Daydream Joker have 50% effectiveness. That said, we're still going to play it anyway because it's still better than most of the damage dealing artifacts in the game. Lastly, after Isaria successfully evades an attack, she dispels all debuffs from all of her allies and herself and grants herself an extra turn. Basically, don't play blue units on this because they have a 50-50 chance of triggering this part of Knight's Duel. You don't want that. Lastly, she has this passive here, the White Flower's Hatred. At 70% health and 40% health the first time she goes under either of those HP thresholds, she'll use a non-attack skill that gives herself a massive barrier. If you do not break the barrier by her next turn, she does a huge AoE attack that might wipe your team and cause you to lose the entire floor. It is very, very important that you have some way of dealing with the barrier, especially the one at 40%, because at 40% she also gets the healing buff, as you can see here, which is when you attack her, she heals a massive amount of HP. It only takes like 2 or 3 attacks with the healing buff to fully heal her. And again, if you have no way to actually reliably strip it, she will do that massive AoE attack. Even if you do enough damage to break through the barrier, you know, even if she full heals, if she's still got that healing buff, you're gonna take a ton of damage and possibly wipe. My advice, and you'll see that here with the team in just a second, is to use a non-attack skill that, you know, hopefully isn't the 7th one and doesn't trigger outrage, that can remove all of the buffs. Therefore, when we talk about the team here, Falconer Kluri, in my opinion, is the best character in the game for this stage. She's free, everyone has access to her, and her skill 3, Flurry Attack, while being a non-attack skill, is a full strip. Also, defense breaks Isaria to help increase the damage on your team. And as you can see there, Soul Burn effect for the cost of 20 souls. It ignores effect resistance, meaning that there's no way that Isaria can kind of get out of it. It is a guaranteed thing. You Soul Burn it, you are expected to get the defense break, basically completely bypass the mechanics of the fight. Additionally, Falconer Kluri gives incidental small AoE healing to the team, which helps out a lot because, again, you can't use too many non-attack skills to heal your team. So she is just perfect for this, right? You have the Aureus artifact to help mitigate damage on your team, the incidental healing, and also her Soul Burn completely, you know, clears the mechanics for this fight. As for the rest of the gear on her, we have an HP percentage necklace, HP percentage ring, and boots are speed. As for my healer for this, I'm going to be playing Inos 2.0. Feel free to use, like I said, a Soul Weaver on Celestine or a Ranger on Bloodstone if you have them. But for me, I'm going to use Inos 2.0 without Celestine, even though I have access to it because it's a 5-star and I don't want to showcase too many 5-stars or hard to acquire things in this video. Again, play whatever you want here. You could play like, you know, Magical Scholar Doris, some kind of other healer. Just make sure you are well aware of how many non-attack skills you are using throughout the fight in order to sustain your team. Inos is really amazing because she gives an attack and speed buff as well as healing on her S3. She gives a CR push to our DPS on her S2, and she has a defense break on her S1. As for what I'm playing, you can play anything on the artifact slot. I'm just using Prophetic Candlestick for the hell of it. And then for the rest of the gear, HP percentage ring and necklace, as well as speed boots. Now, next up we have Dollmaker Pearl Horizon. You can play any mage you want in this slot. It does not have to be Dollmaker Pearl Horizon. I'm just using her because I have a fondness for the character now after my previous Abyss Guide series where I realized, hey, this character is pretty good. The main reason you want a mage in this slot is Iella Violin. This helps us with the ability to remove the barriers at the 70 and 40% phases in case, for whatever reason, Falconer Kluri gets hit with a 2-turn stun. That way you don't have to necessarily just like auto lose the fight because you got, you know, bad RNG. Any mage that can wear Iella Violin, this is freely available through the game's Hall of Trials shop, it's going to be just fine. As for the rest of the gear, Just have your boots on speed and a 4-piece speed set with your effectiveness over 35%. The rest of this doesn't really matter. You can play attack percentage, effectiveness percentage on the ring. I have critical hit damage on the necklace. That is simply just because it gives the most amount of speed. Just try to get your mage as fast as possible so that way she could control things. And then also proc Yellow Violin as much as possible. You do not need to be my speed, by the way. 254 is very fast for a beginner. You only really need to be like 220, 230. So don't worry too much about that. As long as you're like 220 speed with like 35 to 50 effectiveness, you are good to go. And then, of course, as always, since it's an Abyss guide, it wouldn't be complete without Commander Lorena as the primary DPS because she's the queen of Abyss at this point, in my opinion. Her and Raz are basically the two best characters for every Abyss stage most of the time, it feels like. So you already know the drill if you've been watching this series for a while. Daydream Joker here is going to be our artifact, critical hit damage as our necklace, ring is attack percentage, and boots are attack percentage. Cool. Now that we know the mechanics and the team, let's jump into an actual fight.
Will you play with me?
Alright, so at the start, we're going to use Hypnosis in order to potentially slow and sleep everything.
How about you take a little nap?
I hope this job is a little.
And then we're going to S1 here. We're going to hold Flurry Attack whenever possible. Go for a defense break.
My spear will protect everyone.
Skill 3 for the souls.
To my spear. Shall I make you pretty?
Alright, now we're going to stun the one that's already asleep because by doing this, we will defense break it, stun it, and do a ton of damage to it, which means that we can kind of do incidental chip and possibly pick off this Harpy early in the fight, and therefore not have to worry about its debuffs later on.
We'll be together forever and ever.
Maybe I'm working.
Alright, we'll just have Kluri hit here.
Fight a little harder, Fleur.
Kluri hit here again. Alright, now that everything is not asleep, we can just blind here.
Could you give me
Now that everything's not asleep here, we can just go for the S3.
about a little test? The spirit of a commander.
I'm gonna hit here. As long as this is death broken, I'm gonna just go for it because it's just free value, right?
What should I do? I didn't have
Maybe
enough
I'm working too hard.
I will continue my training.
Alright.
What should I do now?
Now I'm gonna go for a Saria now that it's not death broken.
Shall I make you pretty?
Alright, go for the slow again.
Shut up.
I hope this job is a little easier.
The Order of the Shield does not back down.
We'll go skill 3 here.
Everything.
Almost there. Almost
Will
procced.
you play with me?
Alright. We can go skill 3 here on this one to stun it, just so I don't have to deal with it.
You'll be my favorite. Am I in?
Fight a little harder, Flurry.
I'm ready.
And that's going to trigger the barrier phase.
The spirit of a commander.
For Lorena, I don't really care about this barrier right now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do this.
Got it, Flurry.
And now on Kluri's turn, I'm going to soul burn.
Out. That's right. I love playing with
Right?
dolls.
And now we're going to basically try to stall out Kluri attack, like the Flurry attack, to have this come back. So we'll have like the chip damage characters like Pro Horizon and Kluri hit the Asaria. But Lorena is going to go for this other Harpy.
My spear will protect.
So that way we don't accidentally do too much damage to this thing.
Forever. I pledge myself.
So she's stunned for 2
What should I
turns.
do next?
We'll save the S3.
Shall I make you pretty? I will continue my training. Could you give me something useful?
Alright, try to slow and sleep that.
I'm
Didn't
working
have
too
enough
hard.
dolls. The Order of the Shield does not back down. Will you play
Alright, we
with
can
me?
stun here.
You're going to be my own little doll.
I hope this job is a little easier.
Can have this go here.
What's the play here?
Get
This
in?
could go here.
Let's fight together.
Ooh, almost. Almost.
Got it, Flurry. Just like we practiced.
Help me.
Alright. Oh, so she has it again. So we're just gonna go here, kill this. Oh, no. Almost.
Commander.
All right, now we're actually gonna go Lorena here,
What's
and then we'll let this Inos proc Asaria.
plans and your people? I've got them all figured out.
Bloom. Maybe I'm working.
And now we soul burn here,
Flurry, get him.
I love
and there we go. We can try and slow her.
I will continue my
Soul burn
training.
here,
Feel my might in the point of my spear. My spear.
and
will
then basic
protect
attack.
everyone.
And it's just that easy. That is challenge mode Abyss floor 4 in a nutshell. Like I said, this one's pretty simple as long as you're using Falconer Kluri and you're being patient with your skill usage of the S3 flurry attack. If you have any other comps that you've figured out that are not this one that could help out fellow players that for some reason just don't want to play Commander Lorena or just maybe don't have Inos 2.0, let them know down in the comment section below. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your week, and I'll see you all in challenge mode Abyss floor 5. Later now.